Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I've just finished watching Star Wars Lego Terrifying Tales, which is the Halloween-themed anthology story with Lego Star Wars, which they did a similar thing last time with the holiday special, Lego Holiday Special, which, you know, was kind of a riff on the whole Life Day classic Star Wars Holiday Special back in the 70s, which was notoriously terrible. But, you know, I really enjoyed that one, and this one I think I enjoyed a little bit more, actually. I think I enjoyed this one even more. I think it's because because it was an anthology series, and obviously the stories that were being told by Vinay, Darth Vader's servant on Mustafar, obviously they're not canon at all, and they're, a lot of it's like crazy exaggerations and just made up nonsense. It was just more fun, I think, and I really enjoy that they're doing these like annual holiday specials. I hope they do another Christmas time Life Day one. There's a lot of potential here. Funny enough, this is the only post Rise of Skywalker content we're getting, because again, we're following Poe Dameron after the Rise of Skywalker. It even starts with him fighting some TIE fighters, saying like, hey, I don't know if you guys know, but like the First Order is gone, it's over. And so it's really funny to see, like, we're not getting any comics or books or anything post Rise of Skywalker, but like for some reason, when it comes to the Lego specials, they're just like, yeah, go ahead, whatever. It's like, so I mean, obviously, it's Lego, so it's status in canon. I usually say that none of this counts. It's just for fun. It's Lego. It's it's even more oriented towards children than normal Star Wars is. So, although some people do consider it at least partially canon, but whatever, however you want to take it. But yeah, this was really fun. I enjoyed all three of the stories, especially the last one that we are told by Vinay, and this was just a really fun time. A lot of fun references and comedic elements, the usual Lego stuff. And that's my thing, is like the Lego comedy, it always works for me because it is essentially, especially when they do the Palpatine voice, whoever's doing the Lego Palpatine voice, it very much reminds me of Robot Chicken. It's essentially a more family friendly version of Robot Chicken specials, which is really great. So the three stories that we actually get here, the first one is actually, I think, the most accurate to what actually happened. Obviously it's still like exaggerated and events are kind of happening out of order, but it is Ben Solo being tempted by Ren and his Knights of Ren to join the dark side, and then they destroy Luke's temple. But they're doing a riff on the Lost Boys, which I imagine that at least two like younger children watching this, that like went way over their heads. But yeah, Lost Boys was it's a pretty fun 80s movie about like vampires, and it's essentially the exact same thing, where it's like this teenager joins a group of vampires and they party and everything's fun, but then they have to fight off the vampires, so anyways, that was a pretty fun way of doing that. But it is, I think, it's just the most accurate one. They didn't like step too far out of canon, and I know that there's a fan base out there specifically for Ben Solo, and I know that if they did the wrong things or said the wrong things or made the wrong joke, there would be a lot of upset people out there because Ben Solo is involved. So I don't know how people are going to react to this story, specifically that group. I don't know how they're going to react to this, but I thought it was fun. I thought, kind of doing a Lost Boys riff was a really fun idea. The second story that we got, this one was pretty interesting, and I tried to look it up. I didn't see anything. So it's a story about finding this lightsaber of, I think it's like Scarborough or something like that. I tried to look it up. I didn't see anything about this, so this didn't seem to be a reference of any kind. But basically, you know, the Night Sisters bring Darth Maul back like they did in Clone Wars, except he goes back to Palpatine and he says, oh, I'll help you find this lightsaber that he had just told General Grievous to go find. And so basically we have these two people who were brought back to life essentially in very similar fashions, using, you know, just using droid parts and technology. Darth Maul still has his spider legs in this one, which was an interesting choice. And basically both of them compete to get to the top of this planet and get this ancient Sith lightsaber. And they have a little bit of a fight, which was pretty cool to see. And yeah, it basically ends with Darth Maul going back. The lightsaber itself seemed to like possess people, and they didn't really like go into that, so I'm kind of curious, like, if, you know, maybe I missed the reference, but I didn't see like this was meant to be a reference to anything, but it was interesting. In any case, Darth Maul tried to give the lightsaber back to Palpatine. He ends up just, you know, pushing him off the cliff and taking the lightsaber for himself. Oh, I didn't even talk about the setup for this. You know, before we get into the third story, the setup is that Gardulla the Hutt is making a hotel, like a how would you describe it? Like a themed hotel at Vader's castle. You know, so it's kind of like, oh, it's themed like the Sith because it's an ancient Sith castle. You know, just like kind of a touristy, cheesy type thing. Where they try to get you to buy a whole bunch of souvenirs. You know, it's almost making fun of like Disneyland hotels and stuff like that. It's a very similar concept to that. Anyways, that's where all this is happening, and I guess Vernay just kind of came. They say he came with the place, so he was just already there as the caretaker, and I guess Gardulla the Hutt just let him stick around. And he's been biding his time, waiting for someone to show up. And so Poe Dameron crashes on Mustafar, and he starts telling these stories. And you know, his plan is to, well, we'll get into it, but basically to find this ancient Sith relics. But we'll get into that. So the third story that he tells is basically the Monkey's Paw story, but it's Luke Skywalker. And this was my favorite one, because this one they're just like, yeah, screw canon. Let's just be funny with it. They basically like, all right, what if Luke Skywalker had gotten his hands on a Wookiee's paw instead of a monkey's paw, and just started making wishes for anything that he wanted. Interestingly enough, it seemed to be Watto that sold the paw to him. They didn't say like his name was Watto, but it was clearly Watto. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. But yeah, basically Luke starts wishing, like, I wish I was off Tatooine. I wish I was a pilot. I wish I was even stronger than Darth Vader. And Darth Vader like hears his name and starts training him. He never like puts it together, it seems. He's like, Skywalker, I knew a Skywalker once. And then you hear like the Padme music start playing. He's like daydreaming. He never like calls him son or anything, which I was kind of surprised at. I was like, oh, I thought they were gonna go into it, but they didn't even like, you know, he didn't like even outwardly say like, oh yeah, I'm your father. He just starts training him. Which was a pretty fun montage. They even do a thing where like the Yoda backpack thing where he's got Darth Vader on his shoulders, so that was fun. And yeah, we almost see like basically a Star Wars what if here, because they do the Death Star attack, except this time it's just Ben and Leia, I think, is also flying an X-wing. So they're both trying to take down the Death Star, and Luke tries to do this maneuver, except he accidentally shoots the ports and blows up the Death Star because he wished to be the most famous pilot in history. So now he's famous for doing that, except it was a mistake in this version. So anyways, I thought that was a really fun story. You know, lots of jokes in that one. And basically it ends with, and I think this is really my only like kind of negative towards it, is that like it ends with like Vernay unlocking a Sith holocron and trying to become like, you know, he uses the Sith holocron, which I guess gives him the Force or something, and he uses it to power this suit that he makes, you know, this big like robot suit, and he grabs the lightsaber, and he, you know, that's basically his whole plan, was to become, you know, I guess essentially a Sith and become the new thing that the galaxy fears. And they basically managed to stop him pretty easy, throw him in a pit of lava, and then they escape. Poe Dameron with this with this kid that he had been with the whole time, and then they leave. And Gordula the Hutt basically, he agrees to leave. Essentially, he just, he kind of gets intimidated by Poe Dameron, and he agrees to just start over somewhere else. And that's it, really. Mustafar is kind of, Vernay kind of like his hand pops out of the lava. It's like one last, one last scare or whatever. And that's basically the end of it. They fly off. So yeah, it was fun. I think the ending there is my own thing where I'm like, okay, he used a Sith holocron to, I don't know, have a giant droid body and try to be evil. I don't know. I feel like they could have come up with something a little bit more fun than that. That seemed kind of, I don't know, plain, I guess. But the stories that they told, I thought were obviously the best part of this. And as far as like post Rise of Skywalker stuff goes, he does mention like, oh, this kid was Force sensitive, you should talk to my friend Rey, as they're flying off. So I'm sure they're going to make many more of these Lego holiday special type things, and maybe they'll follow that up. Maybe this kid is now going to be like a reoccurring character. So I don't know, maybe the next Life Day special he's there. But yeah, I enjoyed this. It's just supposed to be a fun, simple little, child oriented holiday special thing, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, especially that Monkey's Paw Luke one, because it was more like a what if scenario entirely. So I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I kind of look forward to them just doing this every year. They did a Halloween one, they're probably going to do another Christmas one. I don't know what other ones they could do. Maybe 2 a year is enough. My only thing is that for right now, it's kind of funny that like this is the only Rise of Skywalker, post Rise of Skywalker content we're getting. Like the only thing that we know about Rey, Finn, and Poe is what's happened in these 2 specials. So it's like, okay, I guess Finn is training with Rey, and I guess Poe crashed on Mustafar, and this whole story happened. We're still, I don't know. It's just really funny that like this is, of all the comics, they could even like do like a comic mini series, kind of just like, and then they did this for like the next couple months after Rise of Skywalker, but no, we're getting some Lego holiday specials. I think it's kind of funny. Anyways, yeah, pretty cool, pretty fun. It would be fun to see some of this stuff referenced in canon. Like obviously this is not going to be a full canon story. I think it's a little too ridiculous for that. But it would be fun for them to like, maybe later down the road when they eventually do some actual like post Rise of Skywalker content, they could make a reference to like, oh yeah, remember Poe, you crashed on Mustafar that one time and you ran into that hut, and they could like make little kind of fun references to be like, oh yeah, something similar might have happened here. Anyways, I enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know which one of the stories was your favorite. And are you hoping that they do another Life Day special, around Christmas time? Are you kind of hoping that they keep on doing this over and over again? And what other holidays could they do? I feel like this might be the only 2 that really work. I don't see how they could do they can't really do like a Thanksgiving one or like a 4th of July one. They can't really do anything like that, right? So I feel like these might be the only 2 that actually kind of work with the idea that they're doing here. Anyways, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.